What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we're going to do something interesting. At least it was definitely interesting for me. We're going to take a look at the new player experience and see what possibilities do you have of beating the Black Cat trials and unlocking Black Cat for free early on with Sinister 6. Yes, we're going to try this out on difficulty 5. And I asked around, what difficulty are you doing? Well, what's the level of the characters and so on? I asked it to a few players, and this is what they told me, that they're doing around difficulty 5, difficulty 6, and the levels they have is around level 80. So I thought about trying out my Sinister 6 because, well, they are somewhere between level 80 and 75. I think my Dr. Octopus is level 85, so he's a little bit bigger. And I think this is important because most people have they don't have the nowhere team. So this is something that as a content creator sometimes I don't realize, but I should know this, of course, is that the new players and mid-range players, they are not able to complete the events to the same degree that veteran players can. So while for me it's easy to get a 4-star or a 5-star Cosmo or Star-Lord or even 6-star, right? I was able to get 6-star Star-Lord, and other people were able to get it as well, free to play. Other players are not on that zone of being able to achieve that much during the events. So maybe if you have 5 or 6 yellow on Sinister 6, it's going to be more convenient for you than having 2 yellow stars on your nowhere, 2 yellow stars, 3 yellow stars, or even not unlocking the characters. Several players said that they were not able to unlock the characters and therefore they had nothing available except the characters that are already in game, which is the Sinister 6. So with that said, we're going to take a look at the Sinister 6. I'm going to tell you which are my favorite Sinister 6 characters, and then we're going to take a look at them in action and things that you can use to your advantage while using the Sinister 6 as a new player. This is going to be with all the scourges active, just to make sure that you can get enough points to unlock a Black Cat. You need 450, so you could even turn off a few of them and make it even easier on yourself. So with that said, let's get started, and as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Okay, let's take a look at my Sinister 6. This is what I have available. So yes, my Dr. Octopus is a little bit stronger than most people would probably have, but I would strongly believe that if you have him at level 80 and you bring your other Sinister 6 up a little bit too, you are going to do just fine. So we have Vulture, we have Swarm, we have Electro, and we have Mysterio. Then we have the secondary ones that are not as great, depends on your style of gameplay. You can use Rhino, which is a tank, is going to take damage in the face, he's going to heal up. And then we have Green Goblin and Shocker. I would definitely not use Green Goblin or Shocker, and I would probably also not use Rhino, and I'm going to explain to you why. It's very important. The reason why you don't want to use Rhino, yes, he's a tank, but he does not have any block chance. He can't block. And because of that, because the fact that he cannot block, because he does not have deflects, you cannot benefit of the passive of Dr. Octopus. That is, whenever you block, you are going to get healing, and you're also going to get speed bar. So you can see right here, when Sinister 6 ally drops below 50%, 20% health, gains speed bar. But when they block, they also get speed bar, and they also heal up, and they get a bunch of other effects, which is great, which is definitely great. And with that said, we can make a controller Sinister 6. We have Swarm, which was a character that got reworked recently. Right now he has an amazing stats. These stats only activate if you get the characters to level 75 and gear tier 14. So if you are using these characters and they seem very weak, once again you need to level up to 75 and give gear tier 14 to them to activate the reworked stats. Then we have Vulture. Vulture has slow, he has turning wind, he can apply offense down to city heroes, and you're gonna face a lot of city heroes like Spider-Woman, right? A lot of people struggling on node number 2 because of the Spider-Woman, they just do too much damage. Well, Vulture is here to fix that problem for you. Lady Electro, she can also apply offense down to the enemies with her ultimate. She can also do attacks outside of her own turn. And because all the war effects are active, then she's also going to charge up faster and also doing more damage. The special is okay, not a big deal. And then we have one of the best Sinister 6 characters, and this character is super underrated with how good it is. It's Mysterio. So Mysterio on spawn, he applies the flex to all the characters, and if Mysterio dies, he summons 3 minions. If you can keep those minions alive, and you can do that by using Rhino to protect the minions, or you can apply offense down to the enemies and turn rewind them, so you can stop the enemies from having their turn. If you can keep the minions alive, one of them has the chance of reviving this character, and he comes with full health, and on top of that he's also going to apply the flex to everyone again, which are going to benefit from the Dr. Octopus passive. So as you can see, this team is actually quite good to be used on a game mode like the Scourge, like these Black Cat trials. It's just unfortunate that they have outdated stats and we don't have any good reason to invest on them. But like I said, if you have no air characters, if you have nothing else available, this is going to be one of the best options. On top of all the things that I just mentioned about Mysterio, you can also apply ability block and blind. In Alliance Wars, it's going to do for more turns, it's going to get extra focus, so it always lands. And he also has heal block that can be very convenient against all the enemies that we are facing. Spider-Woman, Captain Marvel, Deadpool, Spider-Weaver, Ghost Riders. There are tons, Killmonger as well. There are tons and tons of characters that heal up, so this heal block is going to be very convenient. Now, in terms of setting up your Sinister 6, you need to make sure that you put the slowest characters next to Dr. Octopus, and in this specific case it's going to be Mysterio and Lady Electro. You can also put Swarm next to Dr. Octopus to increase his survivability. I don't think that's necessary because he was the one that got reworked. Vulture, he also gets the flex on his passive, so he has additional survivability, and that's why, in my opinion, you should focus on making sure that Mysterio and Electro have as many turns as possible, as the other characters have other benefits. Okay, so in terms of ISO weight, you can use the healer ISO weight on Dr. Octopus or Skirmisher or Fortifier. I'm using Fortifier because I was using him on difficulty 10, but I would probably recommend healer for difficulty not 10, difficulty 5 for example. With other characters, it's up to you to decide. They are very flexible in terms of ISO weight. You can use Vulture as a Skirmisher or as a Striker. You can use Swarm as a Skirmisher or as a Striker. You can use Lady Electro as a Striker or as a Raider maybe. I prefer Striker, Raider is kind of wonky. And Mysterio, I think the best option is going to be the Skirmisher ISO weight, unless you want to give him like Fortifier or something to make sure that he stays alive for longer, and whenever he spawns, that he spawns with the extra barrier and so on. Okay, that's it, that's the introduction of the Sinister 6. Now let's take a look at the gameplay and see what they're able to do at this size and setup. Okay, let's take a look at the Sinister 6 in action for the first node, and I know I'm not using the position that I mentioned, but it's pretty much the same. It has a little bit of a difference, but it's pretty much the same. You can speed up or your defensive characters or your offensive characters. Okay, so with Vulture, you want to apply slow and offense down to as many city characters as possible. I would strongly recommend Cloak and Dagger instead of Nico Minoru, because Nico Minoru, she goes too fast and then she doesn't do much to you. Okay, then Morgan Le Fay is going to do her nonsense. You want to really make sure that you stop the Cloak, because you don't have Rhino, we kinda don't want to get any blinds in the face, and you can see that Vulture, you just have turns back to back with all that slow that he applies, also the speed bar that he's getting, and whenever you kill someone, you get more speed bar over and over again. Now, something with Vulture is that he gets extra damage with his basic, whenever the enemies have a lot of positive effects or negative effects. So you can really burst down one character with Vulture. Whenever Spider Weaver shows up, you just want to focus on her as hard as possible. And Dr. Octopus, now I'm going to use his ultimate to flip all those offense ups from the Spider-Womans into defense downs. And now we are going to apply slow once again to as many characters as possible. Gwenpool, she's a city hero, so if you are lucky, you can land the slow and the offense down to her. And burst down your Spider-Womans, focus on Gwenpool, and then just keep smashing. Let's see, am I going to use the ultimate with Mysterio? I should use the special for the blind, but maybe you can finish it off. So as you can see, even with characters at level 75, we are doing quite a nice amount of damage. Of course, that this is mostly Swarm and Vulture, but both of these characters are doing quite significant damage that even at low levels, you can be quite successful with this team on the Black Cat trials, on this section where you have to use Sinister 6 or nowhere characters. Okay, we have Deadpool for last. As long as she's slowed, as long as she's by herself, it's not a big deal. And there we go, the first node with Sinister 6. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the second node where you can use Sinister 6 and nowhere. And we are going to use the same team, same position, same level, same everything. And this node, it can be quite difficult if you don't focus on the right characters. There are a few characters that are going to cause a lot of problems to you, and those characters are going to be Agatha and Mordo, yes. And the reason why, it's because of the heal block that they apply. So you really want to make sure that as fast as possible you get rid of Mordo. And this is because Mordo, the abilities of Mordo cannot fail, so he cannot be blinded or anything like that. He will always apply the heal block to you. With Agatha, you can blind her, so you could possibly use the ultimate of Vulture first, blind Agatha, and then finish off Mordo. This is not exactly what I did, but this is what you should do. So once again, I'm going to repeat. With Vulture, use his ultimate, turn rewind everyone, then destroy Mordo as fast as you can, and blind Agatha with your Mysterio. Okay, so we kind of survived that. My Lady Deathstrike is almost dying. My Mysterio died as well. Once again, we are using very small characters here. But now, once again, we are going to turn rewind. Vulture is getting clapped. Thankfully, those deflects are protecting him. He's going to have one additional turn. When you have the second turn, you need to start focusing on the Mr. Negatives. And this is because Mr. Negative is going to flip all the positive effects into negative effects. So if you let them to do that, your characters are probably going to die, so pay attention to that. Okay, we are going to finish off those Mr. Negatives and also the Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider comes with the ultimate. He almost kills my Lady Electro, and then Dr. Octopus, because she was below 20% health, he healed her up and also cleared the heal block away. But this is very dangerous, it's very low health, 20% health is very low, so be careful with that. Okay, Mr. Negative attacked my team once again because of all the deflects. Dr. Octopus healed up everyone. You can see that Lady Electro, she went from very low health to pretty much maxed out. And now once again we can use our abilities to slow down the enemies. Focus on Agatha, focus on Captain Marvel at this point. The Killmongers are not a big deal. And that's it because we have a lot of deflects, right? Those deflects are going to protect us. Now, make sure that you revive your Mysterio in case he died. Let's see if you're going to be able to do that. You can see that I have multiple Mysterios on the field, but I'm not sure if I have the Prime Mysterio. Okay, there we go. We summon the Prime Mysterio, more deflects to everyone, and there we go. We are able to finish the node with a full team, with full health. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the last node, and we are going to use, of course, Sinister 6. This is on the same run, this is the same team, same everything that we have been using so far. And as you guys can see, like, pretty solid. Let's see, okay, finally I'm going to change the position to the proper position, and there we go. So, as you can see, the Sinister 6, they are quite decent with all the effects that they get, especially if you can keep them getting the passives triggered to get that speed boost, they can be quite amazing. So Vulture once again with his ultimate, turning winding everyone, giving you extra time to apply offense down to your enemies, also bypassing those heal blocks and making sure that you have time to summon additional characters like Shocker and the Mysterio minions. Okay, so now let's destroy this Gamora. She also can apply heal block. We already have some heal blocks, and that's the curse of the Sinister Six, is that they cannot deal with heal blocks easily. Now Nova does his ultimate and we barely survive, but as you guys can see, even with level 75 Sinister Six, yes, you can survive that ultimate, and that's important because otherwise you'd not be able to revive your Mysterio. Okay, finally we summoned Shocker. I didn't put my cooldowns properly on the previous node, and even so, even without playing perfectly, we are still going to do just fine. Cosmo is doing all kinds of attacks, and now let's see, are we going to blind or are we going to smash? Okay, we're gonna smash, apply that heal block to Nova, and now you have to rush Nova, try to get rid of him as fast as possible. We're going to use all the turning winds, all the slows that we have available in order to do that. Smash that heal block on him, and now Lady Electro with that double tap ISO8 striker to finish him off. Lady Electro, because she does piercing damage, she can be very strong against enemies like Nova, which is extremely important. Okay, so now with Mysterio, we're going to apply blind to Gambit. Gambit is one of those characters that applies heal block to us. So the faster that we can destroy him, the better. If you'd have the ultimate here of Dr. Octopus, that would be great to flip his stealth. Because it's not the case, we are going to just turn wind the enemies. We're gonna try to trigger as many of the passives as possible from the Sinister Six. Lady Electro here with her ultimate or with a special, yes. And why Kestrel heal up? Kestrel heal up because you can see on the right they have the battlefield effect of Nova. Unfortunately, you cannot stop that, but either way, the Sinister Six have enough man juice to keep pushing the enemies backwards. Okay, now we have Kang. We have still that Gambit trying to apply heal block to us, but because of all the turning winds and slows that we did with Vulture, we can keep those Cosmos at bay, and that allows us to have enough time in order to destroy the enemy. So once again, slow with Vulture on as many characters as possible. Lady Electro with Striker ISO8 finishing off that Black Bolt, and now we got rid of Gambit finally. So we don't have any more heal blocks except for that Agatha. Let's see if we can finish off Agatha soon. Once again, the heal blocks are the biggest problem on this team. Now, Kang doing some massive damage, as you can see, but we were able to survive it. And right now I'm just rushing to get that Agatha out of the way, because like I said, if you can stop those heal blocks, you are good to go. So, Cosmo has on his passive that whenever Cosmo is attacked, he attacks the enemies with bleeds, with offense down, and so on. And because of that, we can trigger the passive of Dr. Octopus multiple times, and that allows us to get speed bar and also to heal up. So it's quite beneficial for you to have the Cosmos around, because they are going to give you tons and tons of speed bar. Okay, so now with Vulture, we are going to apply vulnerability to that Kang. I think we already triggered the Nova Force on Kang. Now you're just going to apply blind to him, stack up as many negative effects as possible, and now with Shocker we are going to smash. Shocker also does very nice amount of damage, and this is because he does piercing, of course. Piercing is extremely important in Marvel Strike Force. Lady Deathstrike unfortunately died, which is definitely problematic. Mysterio is about to die as well, but look what just happened. So there you go, we triggered the passive of Dr. Octopus once again, and he healed up the entire team. Okay, so now Kang is gone, Minerva already revived, so we are going to apply as many slows as possible to the enemies, and we are just going to keep smashing those enemies. It's surprising that Mysterio still didn't die, but that's great for us, right? We keep attacking with the full force of the team. We're gonna summon Shocker again. If you already have Shocker on the field, this is going to give 100% speed bar to the Shocker that you already have available. So you want to make sure that you use this mechanic in order to get his special and his ultimate once again. And never use the ultimate if you don't have the special active, otherwise you are going to waste a bunch of damage. Okay, Mysterio is going to apply deal block to a bunch of characters. We are still trying to get rid of that Nebula, because with the Scourges that we have active, Nebula can assist on the Cosmo turns, and that's quite annoying. So she's gone. Now we have one Cosmo to defeat. You always want to try to attack one Cosmo individually, whether it is with single target damage or whether it is with adjacent attacks. Try to just attack Cosmo one by one. So attack the one most to the right and keep deleting them on that order, just to make it easier on you so you don't trigger their passives all the time. Here we go with Vulture going against that, but that's because you're going to apply the slow and the extra vulnerabilities. More slows, and now Shocker is going to do his ultimate or the basic. Okay, we used the basic, we didn't have the offense up, and now Mysterio with clearing the deflects away. Give more speed bar to Shocker. Now we can do the special finally, and then do the ultimate and do massive amount of damage to these dogs at the same time. Vulture with more turning wind, and now you are ready to destroy them with Swarm and with Dr. Octopus. Okay, so that's it. As you guys can see, if you're old player that just came back to the game, if you are a new player and these are the only characters that you could farm, you could absolutely guaranteed get Black Cat for free by doing difficulty 5 and using the Sinister 6 at a decent size, right? Once again, they were around level 75 to level 85. Of course, Dr. Octopus is going to be more important. Having a strong Vulture or a decent Vulture is also going to be convenient for the negative effects and the turning wind that he applies. And everyone else in between is going to help as well. Right now, Swarm is doing a lot of damage, so if you want to make him bigger as well, that's a good option. Okay guys, so as you guys can see, Sinister 6, they were just fine for new players or returning players that came back to the game. They were just fine to unlock a Black Cat. You're going to be able to use them on difficulty 5, and I would even say that you could do difficulty 6 with a little bit more gear and maybe a few Scourges switched around or so. But overall, I was very pleased with the experience, and having this new player perspective, maybe free-to-play perspective, returning player perspective, it was very interesting, and I had a lot of fun playing with Sinister 6. Now, if you have Nova already unlocked, you could use Nova instead of Lady Electro. I think that would be the best replacement. But otherwise, once again, the Sinister 6 are just fine. And like I said, I had a lot of fun of using them. I really wish I had more reasons to invest on this team, but unfortunately not the case for now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope this helped you out unlock your Black Cat. And if you found the video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and I will catch you guys later.